sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways.
You sneaky, you're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles. So
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
You're ready to fight, aren't you? I can feel
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right, elbows up.
Elbows up.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
So the answer to that is to stop being stupid.
My great pleasure to introduce my husband, the Prime Minister who will make Canada strong. And Canada full!
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Thank you. It will be an honor to continue to fight for you and to be a champion of your cause as we go forward.
Let's fucking go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Welcome to Unhinged Fringe here on Wednesday nights here on the channel. Great to see you guys in here, man. So many of you packed in here already. I know the intro's running old. I know people don't like Trudeau, but hey, I'm working on a new one. Give me some time. There will be a new intro shortly, folks. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all ready for this rally coming up this Saturday if you're in Alberta. If you're up near the legislature in Edmonton, come on out Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. We're going to be doing the Alberta Independence I Am Alberta rally. The Fringe is going to be there. Keith Wilson, super lawyer, is going to be there. Jeff Rath and the APP are going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there. We might be handing out lollipops, folks. It's going to be wonderful. You want to be there. You guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, joining me as always, my dear co-host and hetero life mate, Matt. How are you?
I'm stellar. How are your elbows this week, Derek?
Oh, they're a little sore, I'll tell you. I've been putting them up for too long. It's
oh man,
my elbows are fine. I think it's Mark Carney's that are in trouble. We're going to talk about Mark Carney tonight.
It's been a rough week in so many fronts.
It's been a crazy week. Yeah, we're going to hell in a handbasket, folks. I know we try to keep it positive. Don't worry. We'll put a spin on things tonight as best we can. It's going to be great. Let's get a roll call going on, shall we? Let's get a roll call happening in the chat. We'll give people a minute to get in here, get settled, get your popcorn, get your lollipops.
You should
let's see how many we can
bag full of lollipops on Saturday and live.
I think I'm gonna. Let's go. We've got Patrick coming in. Salutations with the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. Love Philadelphia. We love our American viewers. You guys are amazing. Welcome in. Thank you so much. Joe with a $7 super chat already. Mark Carney, the cock eater. We're going to get to that. Thank you so much. What do we got? Hang on. We got Tina coming in once again from Georgia. Welcome in. Love Georgia. Squid's coming in from Calgary. We got Carson El Gringo Grande coming in from Puerto Vallarta. It's great to have you here. We got Carol and Gerald coming in from Calgary as well. Guy saying the West is watching. You know what? We say, screw the rest, we'll take the West. I think that's the new slogan coming in for Alberta Independence. Let's go, everybody. Good to have you in here. We got my favorite mod named Ingrid coming in with her husband Charlie from Okotoks. Welcome in. Great to have you here. We've got Toten coming in from Phoenix, Arizona. Jen's Gardens coming in from Exshaw, as always. We've got Delphine coming in from Fort Mac. Michael's joining us from Victoria, BC. James coming in from Sudbury. We've got Rodney joining us from Newfoundland. Man, you guys are coming in from all over. It's great to see you. We've got Jancor joining us once again from Ottawa and Terrible. Canadians First coming in from BC. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Hopefully you haven't lost your land yet.
Where are my Manitobans at? Where's my Winnipeggers?
Where are we at? We've got John coming in from Annapolis. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Mystical's playing Pokemon apparently on my roof. May I have some gruel? No, but you can join my kids in a round of Pokemon. They haven't put it down all week. Glad you're hanging out on the roof still. We've got Lisa coming in from Hope, BC. David Brewer joining us from Springfield, Missouri. Welcome in. Great to have you here. We've got Mike Freedom Honey coming in live from Beaver County. Great to have you here. Mike Freedom Honey also is going to be at the rally. It's going to be great. Going to be wonderful, folks. You want to be there. Mike's a good guy, especially him and his wife. We're going to be talking about calendars that curse coming up soon, folks. Michael's coming in from North Bay, Ontario. Gonje Farms coming in from Canmore, Alberta. I like the craftiness of that name. We've got Moraine coming in from Salmon Arm. I'm assuming that's or Salmo. I almost said Salmon Arm, BC. Salmo, BC. Welcome in. Mr. Akamic H3L coming in from Costa Rica. Wow, that's crazy. Welcome in. Xylo's back home in Selkirk. Welcome in. We've got Doom Rush coming in from Surrey, BC. Ryan's joining us from High River. We've got Daticus Prime coming in from Grand Prairie. Big C's joining us from Tennessee in the USA. Welcome in. Doug's joining us from Michigan. Man, a lot of American viewers tonight. You guys are on fire. Joe's joining us from Lone Butte, BC. No, Lone Butte. I had to say low. Come on, low-hanging fruit. We got to talk about that. What we got here? Nilok joining us as well from Fort Saskatchewan. Guys, I got to get caught up. Look at all you guys shouting out, all you guys trying to get in. There's so many in there from all around the world. You guys, you're in for a good show tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Mark Carney. He's a piece of crap. We're going to be talking about him. His budget, his blown budget. There's rumor going around. I'm just trying to pull something up here. There's rumor going around that he is going to possibly prorogue Parliament before his budget.
That's their favorite.
To get out.
Nobody can do anything to him if he prorogues Parliament.
I think if he does that, it's over. I think if he does that, you're going to see a forced election. There's no way of saying we're incompetent than by proroguing a Parliament. Speaking of saying somebody's incompetent, I got to give a shout out for once. And people are going to be happy tonight because I'm giving a shout out to Pierre Poilievre, who found his testes this week. It's so nice to see. If you guys missed it, Pierre was on Northern Perspective. Shout out to Ryan and Tanya. They did an amazing job. They've been getting a lot of press this week for their interview with Pierre Poilievre. Now, Pierre made a statement within that interview with Northern that there was corruption going on within the Liberals. We all know about the corruption. We've done a video on it this week, talking about the Aga Khan, talking about all the usual norms. Jody Wilson-Raybould, SNC Lavalin. Pierre Poilievre has been called upon. Yep, he's been called upon to apologize for saying that Justin Trudeau would have been jailed and the RCMP are despicable. Well, Pierre has been asked to apologize, and I said in that video, stop it. Stop apologizing, Pierre. Get with your base. We'll stand behind you. Just plant your feet in the ground. And I even messaged Pierre's guys and said, I sure hope Pierre doesn't apologize. He's not apologizing, folks. This is the Pierre we want. Total accounts all over X are cheering him on right now, saying this is the Pierre we wanted. This is Pierre we're voting for. Look at the media absolutely having a bloodbath with this, trying to find ways to hook Pierre, trying to find ways to throw him under the bus to say, oh, he's terrible. Look at him and his reckless words. He doesn't give a shit. I love it. Take a listen.
Are you confident that by the end of the day today, all of your MPs will still be Conservative MPs?
Yes.
You think that you went too far in saying the former Prime Minister should be in jail?
That's not what I said.
Well,
that's not
what
I
I
said.
heard. What did you say then? Repeat what you said.
Sure, I'll tell you what I said. I was asked about the scandals of the last 10 years of the Liberal government. And what would I do if such scandals and corruption were to happen when I become Prime Minister, and I said I would have zero tolerance for corruption. Nobody is above the law. So if I could, in certain cases, I think there were scandals in the Liberal government that would be appropriately punished in that way. You think of the Green Slush Fund, where individuals were appointed to a board to manage public funds. And what did they do with it? They gave it to themselves. To me, that is a crime for which they should have been held responsible. People have got to be held responsible for corruption. And if you look at my remarks, that's what I said. We will hold people accountable for corruption.
Okay, so people are talking about the sound. Look, it's up as high as I can get it, folks. I'm sorry. It's the video. It's not us. But it's good to see Pierre finding his stones. This is the Pierre I said I wanted. No fence sitting, no apologies, no worrying about your optics. This is what he needs to do moving forward if he wants his numbers to keep going up. Matt, what was your take on it?
Well, they were really mad
you didn't
because
apologize?
I'm hoping that this is a thing that's going to continue. I'm actually a little bit surprised he didn't apologize, and I'm happy he didn't. The thing they were really mad about was he called the RCMP despicable. And what I really would like to point out, though, that he's not talking about your rank and file, your local RCMP detachment, your guy in the car on the road. He's talking about the leadership. And the high up leadership of the RCMP is no better than a political position in of itself. I know people who are RCMP officers, and he tells me all the time, he's like, I can't believe these freaking morons who are at the top saying this. Like, none of us believe that. Like, we don't agree with these people, but they're the people. It's just like us disagreeing with the politicians. They're over there doing what they do, and we're just trying to go to work. And it's the same with
I was
most
worried.
of the RCMP.
I was worried a little when Pierre backtracked and said, look, I was referring to Brenda Lucki. I was referring to the corruption that goes on within the RCMP, that we know they're hiding things. Again, you go as far as looking at things like SDTC. Again, and I mentioned it in the video. You know, Parliament was halted until the Liberals handed over the documents to SDTC, and they said, we will not resume Parliament until Trudeau hands those files over. They instead prorogued Parliament. They called an election, and everybody went back to work. So what happened to the SDTC files? Like, that's the one thing that always gets me with the government, is that they just seem to stall for as long as necessary, and then it's just swept under the rug.
To forget. Yeah, for people to forget. With the endless news cycle, most things, you get 2 weeks to a month, and then people forget and move on to the next thing and move on to the next thing.
Well, and I do see some people in the chat saying, I'm not buying it. I'm not jumping on board. Forget it. Look, a win is a win, and I'm going to take it for as long as, because we need somebody who's going to fix this country. We need somebody who's going to get this country back on track. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. Even in our recent videos, folks, I know that Alberta Independence is the way forward. Look, I'm fully on board with Alberta Independence. I want that over anything else. However, until that vote goes through, folks, until the vote is even put on a referendum ballot, we're a part of Canada. We have to think and worry about Canada, and it's not a guarantee. So if we don't get our independence, we still got to work within this country. We want the best results possible. And even if Alberta were to claim its independence, I still want what's best for the rest of Canada, for the rest of the people that deserve a common sense government that's going to try to right the wrongs of this liberal mob over the last 10 years.
I mean, I've been saying it for years. You know me. Like, if you want me to pick, would I take poilievre over a Trudeau, over a Carney? Of course I would. But I mean, my real goal is I just, want to abolish the federal government and it can go away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm in the same boat. I've said before, if you could just, give the whole thing an enema, rescale it, restart it, get people away that don't have their pockets in other people's businesses, owing them favors, things like that. I would love a new system altogether, a redo.
Who doesn't like your Trump impression? He says it's more cringe than Carney.
Oh, that's fine. If you don't like the Trump, believe me, there's a wonderful thing you can do. It's click the X at the top of your browser or go find another channel. It's not stopping, folks. There's always one. I got some honorable mentions. Lolo Udi coming in with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm in New Jersey, but I got to commiserate with you. Hoping your message is accepted throughout Canada. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that amazing, generous super chat. Kevin with another generous super chat as well. $5 super chat. Poilievre should say that when he becomes prime minister, he will fire all suspect RCMP on day one, and all guilty of criminal actions will be prosecuted. So thank you for the super chat. Keep in mind, Pierre's not in charge of that. Pierre cannot fire RCMP. He could recommend that there is an audit of the RCMP done, things like that. Anything that's within his power, yes, absolutely, I agree with that. But just keep in mind, like, a lot of people don't understand, you know, when you look at American politics versus Canadian, and it's one of the things I was trying to talk about with some of my family recently when they were talking to me about Danielle Smith, saying, you know, Danielle should just go in and change the rules, or she should just change the way things are done in the province if people aren't happy with them, or if she really doesn't like what's going on. There's a process in this country because we're under the crown. Anytime something wants to, say Danielle says, I want to lower taxes, and here's where we're going to get the money from. She has to actually take that in a bill to the legislature. She has to bring it to her party, and her party must all agree on that process and then vote it through. And then it must pass through all the usual loopholes, all the usual people that have to vote and say, yes, this works. We're going to pass it through. Then it becomes law. It's the same in our government. Pierre is not Donald Trump. I know Mark Carney pretends he's Donald Trump when he's signing his little executive orders, his fake executive orders, but we don't do those in Canada. That's not how our system works. If Donald Trump wants to put something through on an executive order, he can just sign a form and it's done. He says, we're not doing this crazy stuff anymore with women and men's sports. He signs a piece of paper, it's over. Canada, you actually have to get support for your bill. You got to go through the House, then the Senate, then it becomes law, multiple readings. But yes, I agree. Anything Pierre can do, he should.
The Prime Minister doesn't have as much direct authority as the President does.
No,
We're
absolutely
a parliamentary system, not a republic, constitutional republic like the U.S. is.
It'd be nice if we were. Jancor with a $2 super chat. Liberal scandals are chronic. Absolutely. Thank you for that super chat. Let's see. I like this comment. Crazy Train needs a diaper change. Absolutely, it does. Let's talk about Mark Carney, because I know that's what everybody's here for. Nobody's here to see my ugly mug. They want to hear what's going on with Matt Carney.
And the budget. He just unleashed his speech about the budget an hour ago.
It's funny because I booked this stream saying we were going to talk about Mark Carney's budget, his failed debacles, everything else. Doug Ford picking fights with the president, how they're diminishing our relationship with the United States. And then magically, I mean, Matt, you texted me like 5 minutes after I got the stream live saying, hey, Mark Carney's addressing the nation at 7:30 Eastern. So it actually wrapped up just before the stream, folks. So we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about what's going on. What's it? You children believe in superheroes. No, I just believe in, we've had 10 years of corrupt nonsense, and I'd like some of it to change. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's going to right the wrongs all at once, folks. I would just like for the dark cloud over this country to dissipate for a little while. I'd like 10 million people to be told to get out of the country that shouldn't be here. I'd like for jobs to open up again. I'd like trade to come back to this country. A little bit of common sense. I'd like people to be able to go and get jobs whose last names aren't Singh. Like, it's pretty basic what we're looking for.
I text. See, you've got the screen open. There's the echo mic. It's your end.
It's my end. We'll have to.
That's okay. I'll shut up while you're sharing video.
Okay, so we got Mark Carney at his press conference. This is here. Mark Carney says the decades-long process of an even closer relationship with the United States is over. So they're not even picking fights anymore with Donald Trump. It's just over. It's done. Things will never be the same again. Who does the British wanker think he is? I will always stand shoulder to shoulder with my American friends, says government EXE is corrupt. Take a listen to what Mark Carney has to say here, and then we'll talk about it.
Love that channel, by the way.
The U.S., as we all know, has fundamentally changed its approach to trade. It's raising its tariffs to levels last seen during the Great Depression. And the scale and the speed of these developments are not part of a smooth transition, they're a rupture. And they mean that our economic strategy needs to change dramatically. As over decades, our economy grew steadily more integrated with the United States through the Free Trade Agreement of the 1980s, the NAFTA Accord of the 1990s, and eventually USMCA agreement signed in 2018. This decades-long process of an ever closer economic relationship with the United States is now over. And as a consequence, many of our former strengths as a country, former strengths more particularly as our economy, strengths based on close ties to America, have become our vulnerabilities. And as a result of that, the jobs of workers in our industries most affected by the U.S. tariffs in autos and steel and lumber are under threat. And our businesses are holding back investments restrained by the pall of uncertainty that's hanging over all of us. Our relationship with the United States will never again be the same as it was, even though in this new world of protectionism, we have the best trade deal of any other country, and we're working to make it even better still.
Okay, so he goes on giving word salad. I'm going to take that out so Matt, you can talk again. Hang on a second here. What's your take on that? I got to say right now, one of the things, I know we got new mini arcades in the back and things like that on the side. I need to get myself a hammer, a big, beautiful hammer, and we will name said hammer the ban hammer. But apparently I need to put the ban hammer out on somebody. So give me your take on what Mark Carney just said.
I wasn't looking at the chat. Okay. He didn't mention it in that speech, but he said, well, first and foremost, I would just like to state, we cannot fight the U.S. economically. They're 10 times our size, 10 times our GDP. Like, there's no fucking way. So full stop right there, Mr. Doug Ford, my favorite liberal. And then later on, Mark Carney goes on to say that we should be increasing our ties with China, trade more with China. And I don't know if I've ever expressed I know I've expressed my opinion, but for people who haven't heard it before, China is a hostile foreign country that is in a permanent state of social engineering, hacking, economic warfare against the entire West. Industrial espionage, you name it. They're not shooting at us, but we are at war with China constantly. Mm-hmm. And what they don't tell you is that Mark Carney earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, I can't remember, signed us on to the UN carbon tax on commercial shipping. So they're going to start carbon taxing commercial shipping. So what do you think happens if we have to ship everything in and out from China instead of going through the US? Where does all that carbon tax go? Into the government coffers.
Well, the green slush fund.
Well, yeah, exactly it. It always comes down to how are they extracting money from us and putting it into their own funds. And it's so blatant, and it just pisses me off that so many people are just like, orange man bad, let's fuck the entire country's economy up because we don't like him.
Mm-hmm. It's we've got, so everybody's mad about the ban hammer. Look, I'm all for trolls. I'm for trolls, ladies and gentlemen, but I missed a lot of the chats, but somebody says this person stepped over the line. I had to do it. We had to make it just be reasonable out there, folks. You're allowed a difference in opinion. Let's keep it classy. Here's one of the things I want to mention, because we do have a lot of American viewers in the audience, and I stand behind America. I think that they're our number one trading partner in the world. They're our neighbors to the south. We need to work with them. You don't pick a fight with a bear using a twig. Keith Wilson, super lawyer, says it perfectly here. Mark Carney is reckless. Canada's total trade with the United States is $761 billion, yet our trade with other countries combined is less than $350 billion. So we're ending our trade relationship with our neighbor and largest market in the world, and somehow going to do better by trading with other countries. So we're taking a loss. This is the problem with this pre-budget press conference, is that he's coming out telling Canada, hey, listen, things are about to get worse. We're going to give the finger to the United States, and we're going to walk away from them. And we can't really gain anything back by snuffing them out when their trade deals that we put through with them accumulate more than we do with the rest of the world. How does that make sense to anybody? Keep in mind, this is a banker telling you this. What bank did he work for? I know it's a joke, folks, but this is what Liz Truss was talking about on Trump's inauguration day when she said this guy bankrupted England. He'll do the same to Canada. We're on our way. We're well on our way.
I saw it earlier. I didn't save it, but somebody was tweeting out that Mark Carney had another meeting with Trump or whatever a couple days ago, or maybe it was today. I don't remember. And they said that he reduced the retaliatory tariffs from us on the U.S. again without getting anything in return. So if you're so mad at Trump and the U.S. and like we're cutting off our relations, like why are you reducing the retaliatory tariffs while getting nothing reduced on our end? No deal.
Well, I think they're trying to save as many jobs as they can, and we're going to talk about the jobs tonight. But the jobs that are going out of this country,
another
folks,
2 things.
Yep,
just this week.
It's crazy. So they're bleeding everything out. And the thing is, folks, and you'll see it in tomorrow's video where I state everything needs to get worse before it gets better, and it's going to get much worse, especially when you look at what happened with GM this week. There's another. I'm going to look it up. Somebody sent me a message earlier telling me there was another major company. That just I think it was Enbridge. I don't quote me on this, folks. I think it was Enbridge that they're leaving Ontario as well.
A plant in Ontario that makes like big rigs, like Peterbilts and stuff, was closing. 500 jobs.
Yeah, we need to prepare for pain and chaos, says John. I couldn't agree more. Carney's investments are in the U.S. He couldn't care less about Canada. So that's the one thing we do have to focus on here is that you got to remember Mark Carney took Brookfield and moved it to the United States. Now, if he was going to do things that were beneficial for Canada, why would you pick up and move your major corporation to the United States? Well, he did that because he knew that he was going to screw Canada over. He knew that his stocks would dip if he stayed in Canada. It's people's bottom lines. And that's what's funny is that GM has come out with a statement saying that this move has nothing to do with Donald Trump. And that's the card that Mark Carney and any Melanie Jolie, Doug Ford, they're all playing this card. Anytime something goes wrong, you saw Elizabeth May do it with Pierre Poilievre's comments about the RCMP. Oh, what a Trump thing to say. It's Donald Trump politics. They just say the word Trump, and it seems like people just get on their side immediately.
Because
I say all hail Trump.
It's very easy for you to point to your average boomer Karen and say, look, Donald Trump was mean to people and he said bad things and he was rude, and they get mad about it. But you look at the policy level and the things he does and the things he says there.
Yeah, somehow he says here, somehow it's always Trump and tied to Trump. I got news for anybody who thinks it is. 10 years of bad policies, of theft, of printing billions of dollars has nothing to do with Donald Trump.
Did
with a couple of months.
Did Trump not approve our energy projects in this country? Did Trump sell our mineral rights to China? Did Trump close our pipelines, shut down our oil refineries, put a tanker cap? Like, he didn't do any of those things. The Liberals did.
It's funny. I took a bookmark earlier. Let me see if I can find it because somebody actually has the totals. That when you start to say, here it is, government EXE again. I'm going to bring this up. This is it in a nutshell, folks. $60 million for ArriveCan, $300 million to a Quebec pharma plant, $2 billion for shares in a company that doesn't exist, $15 billion to Stellantis, $20 billion to Ukraine, $90 billion plus misplaced infrastructure money, $350 billion COOF spending, all gone. Some things money can't buy, but for everything else, there's the Canadian taxpayer. That's what's happening right now, is we're being lynched. All these governments are doing this, and you're seeing the same thing in Alberta right now with the teacher strike and everything, where they're using politics to try and push for what's going. The whole thing's about politics. It has nothing to do with teachers anymore. It's all about, hey, spend billions and billions and billions of dollars and just tax the people. Just keep ripping money out of their accounts and don't worry about how they're going to get by. People have been bled dry in this country. We can't pay the bill anymore.
We can't afford shit.
It's absolutely insane.
It's a little excessive at this point, but people will
guys,
still
look at
vote with their feelings.
Carson jumped in. 1,000 thumbs, and I'll sponsor a giveaway from the Fringe shop if Fringe agrees. Okay, so 1,000 likes, folks. We're going to do a giveaway tonight, I guess, courtesy of Carson. Somebody will get one item from the shop. You don't have to be a member. If we're only at 400 likes, get those likes up, folks. It takes you 2 seconds. Go down below, hit the like button. Let's get over 1,000 likes and do a giveaway tonight. It's going to be great. Somebody will get something
high
for free.
as the elbows.
As high as the no, but the elbows are down. We don't want to do that. Let's talk a little bit more about Carney, because when people, I saw somebody mention it earlier in the chat. Have we seen digital ID yet? And we all know with C8 and C9, they're pushing for the beginning of what's going to be digital ID with the internet censorship, internet mobs. And you can see it here. I won't play the audio for you guys because I know you're sick of listening to Carney, because it's in Canada's statement here. Carney claims the world aspires to be like Canada and that our country will always be committed to the human rights and freedoms. Oh, this one wasn't about C8 and C9. Sorry. He brags about having diverse cities and says that people bring the best of their cultures to our country. Well, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about who brings the best of what to our country.
Yes.
I asked Grok, how much has crime increased in our country in the last 5 years? I didn't even go all the way into Trudeau's tenure. I just said 5 years. Excuse me. Here's the thing. Key trends by crime type. Violent crime rates increased post-2020, peaking in 23 before a slight dip in 2024. Major drivers. Aggravated assaults are up in Edmonton and Winnipeg. Homicides up 32% nationally from 2019 to 2023. And robberies, because the police tell you just comply, are up 28% from 2020 to 2023. Winnipeg and Edmonton lead the rates 2 to 3 times the national average. Poverty crime. Sharp post-pandemic rebound. The motor vehicle thefts are up 46% nationally before easing in 2024. Burglaries and thefts drove the increases in Vancouver and Calgary. Over crime change, net increase of 2 to 15% across major cities, varying by type from 2019 to 2023. Urban violent crime rose dramatically in some areas. Example, Winnipeg homicides nearly doubled. City-specific changes. Table below summarizes the net changes in CSI, which is crimes, the crime rate over general, violent crime severity, and poverty crime rates for selected. If you look at Toronto, the change from 2020 to 2024 was 5%. Montreal was 3%. Vancouver 7%. Calgary 9%. Edmonton 12%. Ottawa 4%. Winnipeg 15%. Like, this is all from keeping the doors open for immigration. This is all for letting people just barge their way into your country. People who shouldn't be here when it's a welfare state. They come here and Mr. I need asylum. Yet our seniors and vets, if you watched my recent video, seniors at 77 years of age are living in tents because they can't afford their own homes.
And nobody ever talks about the easiest solution to a lot of this, which is to just, can you reduce the taxes? Like, as a business owner, I'm probably, if you include your income tax, your GST, your PST, which I know you guys don't have to pay PST where you are, you bastards. But if you factor it all in, the property tax, everything, I'm pushing 50%. Like, half of my working life is going to the government.
Yep.
And why people on minimum wage, like, why are they paying taxes at all? Like, why are they paying income tax? Like, the amount of taxes we pay in this country. And then if you could go, like, people always point to the Nordic countries, like, oh, look, they pay all these taxes. They're even higher than us. Yes. But I feel like if you go to Norway or Finland or Sweden or whatever it is, and you go to their hospitals, you see their roads and their bridges, you probably feel like you're getting what you paid for. Does anybody in Canada feel like we're getting what we paid for? Anybody been to a hospital lately? It's
absolutely not.
Gross.
And I talked about that on Monday night's live stream during the the Calgary civic elections. You're being taxed an 11 and getting a 3. Like, you just pay through the nose every year, like clockwork in Calgary. 5 to 9% increases in your taxes. Nothing to show for it. In fact, Jody Gondek, who lost, thank God, came in third in her own. She's the first mayor in Calgary's history to not win a second term while running. She posted a surplus and still raised taxes. If you have a surplus, you're taxing people too much. Unbelievable. I got a few honorable mentions I got to get out of the way. I've left them hanging for so long. Carson El Gringo Grande gifting 10 unacceptable Fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much, Carson. I really appreciate that. Alberta Gamer with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop fighting it. Watch CBC and realize that Trudeau lifted Canada out of Harper ruin into liberal prosperity, peace, and joy. I accepted this and now I'm happier. No, come on. You can read the sarcasm in that one. Thank you so much for the super chat. Kevin with the $5 super chat. Will you live stream the Alberta Independence rally on Saturday? If not, who will? Yes, I will do my best to live stream that rally. Yeah, and this, not everybody in Ontario votes Liberal. No, they don't. But the problem in Ontario, and we've shown it before, a very large per capita exists around the Toronto area. 50% of the country lives in that small little section of Ontario. And they essentially decide, because of their per capita rating, who's in charge in the country. So that's part of the reason that Canada, or not Canada, but Alberta and Saskatchewan, other provinces are talking about independence. They're talking about getting away from it. They have no voice, no representation. This government gets to continue taxing us and doing whatever they please and getting away with every single little scandal.
The election's over before single votes cast past the Ontario border. That little tiny strip of land that includes Ottawa, Toronto, and Montreal, and all the surrounding cities has more seats than the entire rest of the country put together.
Yep.
And they all live and kind of believe the same way. They're in a big, giant mega city.
Yep. Nilak with the $2 super chat. Let's call it what it is. We paid their expense account. Absolutely, we did. This is the problem, and I say it in tomorrow's video as well. I think I dropped on it on today's video. Things will have to get worse for the people in areas like Toronto. This is why I don't want an election before at least spring. I don't know if we're going to get that. Again, check out tomorrow's video. I show you why. I don't think we're going to get it at all. But what we're seeing right now is those with their elbows up, the elbows up crowd, the lunatics, those with the nice portfolios, those whose houses gained, 700% from the 90s till now, where, they're living off their equity and they think everything's peachy under Mark Carney. They've never really seen anything bad happen to them under Justin Trudeau because they've never had to really worry about how they're paying for everything. Things need to get worse so that those people suffer. The woke people who want to push for Mark Carney, who want to push for all of these ideologues, once their life gets, harder. And Master of Snatch, one of my favorite mods, comes out and says it all the time. The $10 butter revolution is going to happen. As soon as life becomes difficult for those people, even if they want to vote Liberal, they're not going to be able to support that party any longer because they won't be able to afford it.
Yeah, like when my mom bought a brand new build in Southdale, the one on Garwick, it was $110,000 for like a 3-bedroom finished basement, kitchen, 2-bath, like a nice house. It was $110,000. And I think it sold 10 years ago. It was on the market for like $650,000.
Yep.
And I'm just like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like between
it's insane because buying a house used to be just an investment for your family, right? You'd pay down the mortgage. You were paying into your own pocket. I've talked about it before. My father sold his house in Southdale. He bought it in 1985 in Winnipeg for $90,000. He sold it in 1995, 10 years later, for $92,000. So by the time the legal's done, he made nothing on the house, but he paid it into his own pocket over the 10 years that we lived there. So that was the idea of a house, is that you could afford to own one. It was an investment for your family. Now you have to be in bed with the monopoly guy just to get into a mortgage.
And we won't even talk about things in like Toronto and Vancouver, the hyper mega populated places. Like there are freaking things that, you wouldn't even go in the north end of Winnipeg and buy that are selling for like $1 million in Vancouver. It's insanity. And I can't believe that it hasn't burst yet, to be honest. Like people are still paying these exorbitant fees. Like I know people who bought, just before they changed the mortgage rules, which would have been in like 2018 or something. And they had to sell because as soon as the interest rates switched, they were screwed. They couldn't afford it anymore.
Yep. Now, Terry has a good point here. And this is where I say it has to, look, I don't wish anything bad upon anybody in Ontario with their jobs, anybody else. I see it all the time out west, people losing their jobs. So please don't think what I'm about to say means screw your jobs, screw your homes and everything else. But this is where I'm talking about. It needs to get worse because they can't blame Trump forever when it all falls apart. He says something has to happen. They've lost the auto industry. It's the domino effect. They're going to be looking for more money from Alberta and Saskatchewan. It's not just that. The problem is they don't have the ability to come and get it. They don't have the ability to say, oh, it's Trump again. It's the tariffs. It's this, it's that. If the tariffs are so bad, why is everybody going to the United States to open up their businesses? The first thing I learned in business school is that most businesses are started during a recession, during a downtime, because most startups require that you don't take any pay for the first little while that you're working, that you're starting up your company. A lot of people tend to invest in themselves when that's happening because they can't find a job anywhere anyways. You're seeing now all of these businesses talking about their bottom line, which is the same reason GM is going to the United States. Less taxes, more profits, better industry, less tariffs, more employment opportunities. They don't have to deal with singhs everywhere they go.
It's all a mathematical equation. It's all it is. It's all it ever was. And if your business can't survive in a certain place, then you go somewhere else. So
basic economics.
We have to make it so that Canada is a place that we should be the richest fucking country in the world. We have every resource imaginable. We have uranium. We have rare earth metals. We have trees, lots of trees. We have fresh water. We have oil. We have gas. We have everything. Why aren't we rich? Because nobody will approve and start any projects here, first and foremost, because they might get denied or they might get protested out of existence. If you thought you were going to invest and build a mine, let's say, whatever, pick it out of the hat, a mine, but in the middle of construction, you've already invested, you've done your land surveys, your environmental studies, you've put out hundreds of millions of dollars and this and that, and all of a sudden some Indigenous group decides, no, that's not happening. We are here to water protect it. Or whatever it might be, or the Liberal government says this is causing climate change. You can't do that anymore, or you have to pay us, $50 on the dollar in climate taxes to do it. Nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to build anything.
Yep. Nida Falima has a point here. You go where you can make the money. As a business, we've seen Canada, you lose money if you're a business. Kevin O'Leary talked about it, and again, I keep saying it. Tomorrow's video, I meant to put it out today. Time got away from me, and I didn't want to drop a video right before stream, or else nobody gets the notifications. So tomorrow, keep your eyes out for that. But I talk about it in there that you'll see companies saying, "Look, it's our bottom line." Like it has nothing to do with we don't like Canada or we don't want to work in Canada or we prefer the United States just because we're American. It's everybody's bottom line, and you go where the money is, and nobody's wrong for doing that. I don't know anybody on this earth that says, I'm going to light $100 on fire and just let it go to nothing, go to ash, because it doesn't matter to me. Every single person in this chat, everybody who's around the world, if you lit $100 on fire and threw it on the ground, you would put it out. That's all businesses are doing, is they're reacting to the piss poor management. And Kevin O'Leary says in tomorrow's video, you've driven trade right out of the country. And you continue to double down attacking Donald Trump. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's like fighting a bear with a twig.
We've been driving trade out of the country for over a decade, but it's accelerating and getting worse.
Sheridan says, Canada is anti-business. Productivity and competition are a sin in Canada. Sadly, you'll be punished with higher taxes, fees, and red tape doing so. But that's the problem, is that it's easier to work in the United States. I've said it a million times over. I'd go to the United States if I had the opportunity, just because I'd pay less taxes and make more money. Not to mention the censorship, and I got to get to that now because I thought we were getting to that a minute ago. Let's take a look here. When we talk about digital ID, when we talk about the censorship that's coming, Jasmine Lane puts out here, breaking, Prime Minister Mark Carney says, Canada's public square, meaning online, is fragmented by online echo chambers while addressing the nation. So he's saying that the facts that you get online, folks, and again, I won't play the audio. I won't make you guys listen to Mark Carney any more than we have to. It's basically how he puts it out, that, the facts that you're getting online aren't always accurate. They're not always true. It's an echo chamber on places like X, on YouTube, people like us coming out and saying, look what Mark Carney's doing, because we just don't know the facts. But the CBC, who he pays to lie for him, has all the accurate facts, folks. They know no bias. They clearly have no bias. He wants to censor everyone so he can bring in digital ID.
I have said this quote before, but Orwell speculated a world in which the government would control all media and all narratives so tightly that you would never hear the truth. Huxley speculated a world in which you would be saturated with so much information, misinformation, half-truths, lies, and then real information that you'd never be able to find the truth. They're both right. And all of these different bills are just all leading to the same thing, putting us all in a little box where we can't fight back. We can't criticize the government. We can't talk about the government. I mean, it's V for Vendetta, man. One day that we're just going to get blackbagged live on stream and hauled away.
It's funny because more people are starting to wake up. I think that's a reality. I think but again, because it's becoming too tough for people to be able to live, for people to survive. They have no choice but to wake up and look around them and say, I don't like what's going on here. Now, I've seen it up in the chat. We were talking about it before the live stream, but even Edmonton's brand new mayor is raising some problems.
Let me cue that.
What do you got on Edmonton? What do you got on Edmonton's mayor there, Matt? If you guys ever thought, again, digital ID is a problem, this is a problem. They're all coming together, folks. It's all, as the Joker says, it's all part of the plan. It's because boy, Edmonton's new mayor hasn't even been in for 48 hours, and he's already talking about 15-minute cities.
Keep in mind, like even just a year ago, I was called a crazy alt-right conspiracy theorist for even suggesting that this was a thing.
What is a 15-minute city? It's something that's so convenient. Everything is going to be within 15 minutes of you. You're not going to have to worry about traffic because people won't need a car. And when we say 15 minutes, we mean a 15-minute walk, not a 15-minute drive. We want you to live in an area, a district, where everything that you need is a 1.5 kilometer walk in every direction.
So 15-minute cities, they sound nice in relativity. Like if you had convenience around, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm always happy when I don't have to drive half an hour to get to a Best Buy or something. But realistically, what they're talking about is locking you down, controlling you.
When that happens, just look at what happens first. Do they build the schools and the shop first? Or do they build the signs and the checkpoints and the borders first? Because it doesn't make very much of a stretch to, hey, you don't need to leave. You're a 15-minute city. Everything's here. To, why would you ever leave? To, you can't leave. It's a progression. And it should really scare people, because once they have a border around your 15-minute city and a digital ID, and you can't talk and you can't say anything, and all your guns are gone, or shovels are gone. Sorry. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
It's funny you bring up the whole, it starts with the borders and whatnot, because we've even got this article coming out. A good friend of the channel, Jack Dan, bringing this out. National Post does an article saying NDP leadership candidate Avi Lewis has said that the federal government has the capacity to buy food directly from distributors and then sell it to Canadians at cost. Read what the economists have to say about having a public option for groceries. Jack says, so communism. That's exactly what this is.
How
like
about you
all of this is by design,
and let me buy directly from the farmer across the street at cost instead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's good that you bring that up, because this Friday I've got a company to talk about that we've taken a sponsorship with in Alberta that does farm to table direct for these purposes, folks. They want to support local rather than giving into all this other nonsense. That's all I can really say right now. I'll elaborate Friday. You don't want to miss that on stream. They're a great company and I'm so excited to work with them.
Here's the thing for me about all of this, and it can apply to everything. If you want communism within Canada, you're free to do so. You can find 100 like-minded people. You can go buy some land somewhere, build your own town, from each according to his ability to each according to his need, yourself all you want. There are examples of it right now. The Hutterites do it. They have their own communes, their own schools, their own businesses. Nobody is stopping you. Why is it that all of your communist dreams always involved the rest of us being forced to participate?
Absolutely. I got to get to Snow here, because Snow's got a good valid point. $20 super chat too. Thank you so much. The Saudis have the third largest oil reserves and $200 billion in debt with way more government services. Canada has the third largest oil plus all other resources and production with worse services, higher taxes, and trillions of debt. This is the same reason that everybody talks about, again, independence. Jeff Rath put out a really funny tweet today when they were talking about the billions of dollars that teachers want within the ATA union, saying, oh, look, you're not giving us enough money. Jeff Rath says there's a very simple solution to that. Just vote for independence, and those billions of dollars that we send in transfer payments could be right in your pocket, and your schools would have every single thing you need. And that's the problem, folks. Government waste. I showed a video this week on who was it? Champagne, saying that we're gonna start bringing in government agencies to deal with fraud and to deal with money laundering and all this other stuff that essentially is being done by the Liberals, by the way. And people said, well, don't we have FinTrack? Don't we have these other offices within the branch of the government already? Yeah, but we want more bureaucracy. We want to bring in more of our people. We want to keep creating government jobs and over bloating the government. And you guys can pay for it all.
I'm mad at Danielle Smith because of the teachers' strike. Here's a solution. I don't want a solution. I want to be mad at Danielle Smith.
Exactly. But that's where the hypocrisy comes in this whole strike. It's funny because somebody said to me the other day on the strike that you don't know what you're talking about, Fringe. The teachers are this much per classroom and Danielle's not giving them anything. And I said, well, we've done the math and we've shown the math. So why don't you explain to me how your math works? They come back and say, why don't you go blow it out your ass? And it's like, well, so you have nothing.
Teachers don't know math.
No, you have nothing. If you can't debate me, if you can't come back with fact, you have nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. I don't know why these people think that they can just argue to you about woke points with no fact, no sense of receipts, and that you're just going to accept it and go, okay.
Because they've gotten away with it for 10 years. Basically, every time somebody owns them and presents facts, they just go, yeah, well, you're a racist, misogynist, racist thing type water bottle racist. And then for 10 years, people have been like, I would like to issue a public statement. I would like to apologize for anybody I offended by saying truth and facts. And so for 10 years or 15 years or however long it's been, they've gotten away with just feelings versus facts. They've gotten away with it. And that's why it's going to work. But one piece of hopeful news is I really think the tide is finally starting to turn on that level of nonsense. I can feel it.
I'm gonna get to that in a second. Reg with a $5 super chat. When I visited communist Russia, few people could afford cars and everyone had to walk for shopping, etc. Well, that's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. I do have to touch on Tress here saying Danielle Smith is awesome. She is awesome. Look, even Paul had to jump in. Please don't stop the Trump. Listen, I'm not stopping the Trump anytime soon. I know everybody loves Trump, and it's not going anywhere. It's not leaving. In fact, it gives me a fever.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
How we had to get the cowbell in there. I always forget during Wednesday streams to drop the cowbell in.
In Soviet Russia, groceries shop you.
Panini, Russia wasn't truly communism. It was too corrupt. Absolutely. Ingrid with $2 super chat. Mark Carney's extremely low-minded. Is I guess that's the nice way of putting it. Speaking of which,
I don't like it when people say that. Like even with like other people, they're like, "Oh, he's just stupid." No, he's not stupid. He's actually very smart, and what he's doing.
Smart at what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Yes. Somebody says, "Hey, it's Peter Griffin. Hey, this really grinds my gears." You know what's funny when we talk about the stupidity of government? You want to know what real stupid looks like, folks? I had a tweet earlier that I put out. I wanted to share with you guys and said, "Who did this? Who did this?" I don't know if you've seen Tom Lakazak hanging around in his bus. He's been going around in his bus trying to get signatures for what's happening in Alberta, but he's forever retarded. It's a good suitable picture for Tom Lakazak. These are people who believe.
We're allowed to say retarded as long as you do it in a Boston accent.
I grew up in the 90s. Everything was retarded.
God bless him. He's retarded.
It's nice. It's nice that you let the retard sit down at the table and eats with you. I think that's wonderful. It's my brother Billo. He's not so good. I get the window from a glass. He must get the window from a glass. I get the step. He must get the step. I get the clock radio. He cannot afford. Great success. Let's get on with the stream. Nice. But speaking of that clock radio you can't afford, you'll own nothing and be happy.
I will own things and be angry. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And that's the way it needs to start coming out. And that's one of the things where I said, when it comes to independence, they always said, screw the rest, we'll take the West. I say, screw the rest, or screw the West, we'll take the rest. I say, screw the rest, we'll take the West. I know that was confusing for a second there, folks. But it's one of the things I say about independence, too, is that instead of you'll own nothing and be happy, we'll own everything and be prosperous. That's the way it needs to be. The government should own nothing. They are public servants. They're not kings and queens. They're not royalty. They're not here for us to lick their boot heel and let them eat cake.
Are you saying, Derek, that there should be No kings.
Oh, no kings indeed.
Oh, Jesus.
I like how you worked that in. Michael with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. What's the job of a government bureaucrat? To find ways to produce more positions for more government bureaucrats. Absolutely. Snow saying you want to know my secret.
Yeah.
I'm always
sit in a comfy
angry.
chair for 4 years with other people in comfy chairs and do nothing but talk about how to spend the money they stole from us while shoving it in their own pockets.
Yeah, Master Snatch letting us know too. 33,000 government jobs came in last month. Meanwhile, people are getting laid off and fired everywhere. Jobs are leaving the auto sector in Ontario. Steel jobs are going out of Ontario. Companies left, right, and center are leaving for the United States. You can't get a job unless you're a temporary foreign worker or your last name's Singh in Canada. But don't worry, guys. Mark Carney tells you everything's fine. It's never been better, in fact.
Here's my hot take on those government jobs, because Carney's going to use them as, this is our job growth. We got these many jobs. Government jobs should not count towards your job growth because it's not a real job. You're taking tax money from everybody and creating a job. Half of those jobs shouldn't even exist.
Yeah, I like this. Dear Canada, lions don't bow. Stand in your power. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's part of the problem. I watched a video today about George Lucas talking about the Phantom Menace and saying who the real Phantom Menace was, because a lot of people, if you follow Star Wars, folks, a lot of people thought, Anakin Skywalker or whatever, this is the Phantom Menace. But what he was actually talking about in that movie with the Phantom Menace is the idea that a republic is falling to dictatorship. And it's when you stand complacent and you accept the way things are changing without doing anything, corruption essentially rears its ugly head and succeeds. And that's what we have to watch in this country. Is that we're starting to say it's okay for scandals. It's okay they didn't produce SDTC documents. It's okay that they didn't tell us who the 11 corrupt officials through China are in the House of Commons. It's okay that Mark Carney keeps sending billions to Ukraine. It's okay that, we're allowing all these refugees to come into our country because we don't want to be called racist. We have to stop being complicit and start saying no more.
So this is how democracy dies, to the sound of thunder.
Yes, thunder of applause. Thunderous applause. It's the more things change, the more they stay the same, and we're starting to see our government slowly bending us over and screwing us, and we can't do it anymore. Government jobs are no value-added jobs. Yes, it's overinflated. It's overinflated. Guys, where are the likes at? I want to remind everybody, we're doing a giveaway at 1,000 likes tonight. Did we hit 1,000 likes yet? Are we close? Keep hitting that like button. Somebody's going to get free stuff. Could be you.
Speaking of shafting us and fake news, listen to this nonsense, because this I actually countered this the other week where I went to, I can't remember if it was Costco or Superstore, and I saw beef.
Hold on. Before you hit start here, 750 likes, guys. Can we get another 250 likes? Hit that like button. We got 1,000 viewers in here. Hit that like button down below. It's free, folks, and somebody's going to get free stuff. 250 more. Let's go.
So the beef from New Zealand was like 20 to 30% cheaper than beef from right here in Canada and from Alberta. But don't worry, guys. We have the CTV here to explain it to us.
The rancher says the reason why beef from Australia and New Zealand is cheaper is because they don't have to deal with harsh winters, which means producing the meat is less expensive than the domestic option. Big says he expects the amount of imported beef to increase even more unless the size of herds in Canada are substantially increased.
So did we not hold on until this year?
Yeah, cows can't survive winter. We can't do beef in winter. Is that what I'm trying to understand here?
So how come the prices of imported versus local beef weren't so out of whack until very recently? Did winter just start in Canada like this year or last year?
Well, I don't know. They just tell you it's climate change.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how can they even justify that? Like, even if for some reason they can produce beef cheaper in New Zealand, you're telling me it's cheaper to produce in New Zealand and stick it in a freaking cargo ship and ship it to Canada, offload it onto a container into a truck or a train, and then get it to Winnipeg where I live, and that's cheaper than getting it from Alberta? Come on.
I mean, Alberta Gamer says Alberta beef or eat on the floor. If you've never had Alberta beef, folks, I'm telling you, as somebody who grew up in Manitoba, there's nothing like it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, one of my viewers, Megan RP, came out to Calgary when we did our first meet and greet. She's been to all of our meet and greets. She came out from Ontario. I was so flattered that she came all the way out from Ontario to see us. We took her for dinner and we said, we're going to show you a good time in Alberta. We'll get you some Alberta beef. And she's come back to every meet and greet because she just can't keep away. Why aren't we? This is what I keep getting about with Mark Carney. He keeps talking about opening provincial trade and making sure that we're a economic powerhouse. Why aren't we using Alberta beef across the country?
I don't know.
But we ship it in from New Zealand. hang on. Dilligaff coming in. New Zealand's better. It's top notch. Oh, that's a gooder. I do have to I saw an honorable mention come in. Thank you so much, guys. Pale Pinkish Humanoid at the $10 super chat. Thank you so much for that one. Aren't you worried if we succeed in independence to free ourselves from Canadian leftism? Our two major cities are mostly left. Imagine being stuck in a new country with them. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'll get to that in 1 second. Infinity, thank you for becoming a new member of the Patriots Club as well. What happened as well? Patricia Ingalls gifting 5 unacceptable Fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. Guys, we're 149 likes away from giving away merch on the channel. Get those 149 likes in there. Am I worried about what happens with the left cities if we become independent? No. First off, all their heads will explode. They'll just completely...
Half of them will leave.
Half of them will leave. They'll leave, and then the other ones will have to go back to being conservatives and get their shit in gear. They're going to have to figure out how to get along in a province that's now its own republic that says we're not putting up with this woke nonsense.
Is that if that does happen and you guys draft a new constitution, that the government power would be limited in such a way that the commies can't take over your government and impose wokeness on everybody.
Susan says, are you sure the beef is from Alberta? Lots of Saxcasts are sold to Alberta. Listen, I only go places that have the tag that says Alberta beef on it. I don't think they're allowed to say it's Alberta beef if it's not. And trust me, you can taste the difference. You can definitely taste the difference. Sorry, Matt, I cut you off. What were you saying?
I was like, I would hope that when you guys, if you do become independent and you do a new constitution, that the governmental powers would be limited in such a way that the commies couldn't take over your government by voting themselves and impose their bullshit on everybody else. Well,
that's kind of the beauty about the independence movement, is that it's not just making Alberta independent. All of our government would have to be restructured. The whole way we do things would have to be redone. It wouldn't be by Canadian law anymore. So we would have those fail safes in place, hopefully. That once independent was achieved, of course, everybody would sit down and we'd find whoever's in charge. We'd vote for whoever's going to be in charge, and they'd be somebody who's going to sit down and say, now that we're a republic, you're not allowed insider trading.
I would hope you could take lessons both from what's happened in Canada over the last 200 years, because we basically copied the British parliamentary seat system, and take some influences from the US with their constitutional republic, and hopefully a lot of heavy libertarian, we don't need the government at all, just go do your job and leave us alone, and put that in there too.
Yep. Well, and I think that's part of the process when you look at, again, Jeff Rath's document on the value of freedom. It outlines that essentially Alberta could be tax-free within the first 5 years. And that's if things stayed the exact same as they are right now, folks. Meaning no oil goes out. The oil export industry stays the exact same as it is, as we're landlocked by the Canadian government. That within 5 years, we'd be in a position to abolish all income tax.
Which would be amazing.
That tells me that the people who want this province to be a republic are talking about, here's how you get away from government overreach. Here's how you get away from government control. Here's how you keep more of your money in your pocket for your family and your future. And I'm going to say this to anybody. Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, anybody who's on the fence about independence, anybody who thinks it's a traitorous act to do it in Canada, you owe it to your children, your grandchildren, your future great-grandchildren, to make sure that they have a future on this planet, that they can buy a home, that they can get married and actually have a family. You know, these living conditions are stopping people from repopulating. And this is why we have an invasion going on in our country, because they come here and get $8,000 a month and they have 9 kids so that they can keep getting checks from the government every friggin' month. Like, we're depopulating ourselves. We're losing our culture. And some people will turn around and say, well, that's people who want a white-only Canada. No, I want my heritage. I want my country's identity back. If people want to come here and have a better life, fine. As long as there's jobs, as long as there's suitable conditions for them to be here and a demand for it, absolutely. If nobody else wants to do what they're doing, bring them in. But they're not coming here and living on a welfare state. They're adopting our policies. They're going to conform, or else they're going to GTFO.
You can't use that word. Conform? Oh, that's racist.
That's racist. I know. I'm such a racist.
I was saying that when they introduced the income tax, it was literally said this is a temporary measure to help us pay for World War II. And here we are 100 years later. You know, it's still there, and it's only getting more. Speaking of taxes, did you see that thing? I think I sent it to you, where the average person calling the CRA waits 31 minutes, and in
on a good
survey, on a good day, and in a they had mystery callers or whatever testing them, and 84% of the time they were given wrong information.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely insane. I'm going to get back to that, but I just had to touch on this because Gerald asks a very important question that a lot of people ask. Would the seniors get a bigger pension if we go independent? Yes. And again, you can go to albertaprosperityproject.com. You can download the PDF from there. It's all outlined in there. Now, Danielle Smith's already talking about an Alberta pension plan, which would already give Albertans more money than the Canada pension plan. It's to enhance senior support and stop giving the money to the bureaucrats. So seniors would already stand with an Alberta pension plan to get better care, a better pension. But if Alberta went independent, if we're not paying income taxes, and if our money's going further, you're not only getting a better pension, but your standard of money is going to go further than it already has. It's a win-win across the board. But it's all outlined in the Value of Freedom. Go and download your copy. It's free. Read through it. Check it out. I can't recommend Jeff's document enough, and print it off or order a printed copy from APP to give to your friends, your family, anybody that you want to talk to about independence that says, well, I'm not so sure. I'll tell you, my father came to this country as an immigrant from Scotland. He's always been grateful to Canada for the opportunities it gave him. He's always one of those guys who's told me, if you work at the bottom and work really hard and work your way up, companies will look after you. They'll promote from within. And unfortunately, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, that's the way things used to be. It's no longer that way anymore. And he stands behind the Canadian flag and tries to tell me, I'd never turn my back on this country. I'd never vote against it. But when I show him the Value of Freedom document, and I say to him, think about your grandkids. Think about how hard it was for Tiffany and myself to buy our first home. We didn't get our first house till we were 35 because every time we'd save a down payment, the cost would go up. I said, think about what your grandkids are going to go through. Think about what your great-grandkids are going to go through. If the government keeps taking 50% of your pay, as you said at the beginning of the stream, Matt, how's anybody ever to get ahead when the cost of living keeps jumping, inflation keeps going up, and a bunch of Prajeets keep coming here from all over the world to lower the value of our dollar?
Well, and you build up a lifetime's worth of assets and money, your car, your house, your cabin, your bank accounts, your RSPs, whatever you got. And then if you die and you try to pass it to your kids, like you've been paying taxes on all that money your whole life, and then you die, you try to pass it to your kids, and they hit you with an inheritance tax. So they tax it again.
Well, capital gains.
Or capital gains. Or
that's 50%.
And they've been talking about taxing unrealized gains too.
Now think about that for a second. Capital gains. Now, my father, for example, when he passes on, his mortgage is paid off on his house. His house is worth roughly close to $1 million right now. Now, if he hadn't set up the way he did with things like his corporation, putting us as shareholders in his corporation, I'm telling you right now, if we had to pay full capital gains on that property, you think about that, somebody passes away and you think, oh, I've inherited $1 million property. You sell it and say, okay, I'm going to pay off my debts. I'm going to do whatever. And the government says, yeah, I know it was worth $1 million. We're just going to give you $500,000. And you can take that and move on if you're lucky. If you're lucky. Unbelievable. Pale Pinkish Humanoid with a $10 super chat. Thank you. Ontario has the corn-fed cattle tastes different than our grain-fed. I've never had it. I wouldn't be able to jump on that. Mumima. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Do you worry about the people who are flocking to Alberta for a better life? No. And I'm going to tell you why before I let Matt get on to his point. I'm sorry. It's people are coming here for a better life. And for those who are coming here on the welfare state, for those who are coming here saying, well, I'm getting my $8,000 a month, I'm going to go put woke policies in Alberta, everything else, as Matt and I both said, those people will leave when Alberta becomes independent. And those who are coming here for the free ride, they'll all get out of here as well. All the Jeets, they'll pack up and leave as well, because there's no more $8,000 a month. There's no more system for there to exploit. There's no more free handouts. It's you either get your hands dirty and adopt Alberta values and get your ass to work, or you get out. So I'm not worried about anybody coming here, because if they don't want to get on board with Alberta values, they're going to have a real hard time keeping their head above water here.
Like, that is literally the whole point, for people to go places for a better life and to work hard and contribute to the place you're going to and assimilate into the place you're going to and have a good life. And it's been that way in Canada for 200 years until recently.
Mm-hmm. Maddie, gifting out one unacceptable Fringe membership to the Patriots Club. Thank you for that donation. Welcome to our new member. Somebody says 68 likes to go. Can we get those likes up, folks? 68 likes and we're giving away free stuff. Get those likes in there. Again, right below the video, hit the like button. Absolutely free. And somebody's going to win free stuff. You don't even have to be a member tonight. Courtesy of Carson El Gringo Grande. So make sure to give him a thank you
Derek's stuff
as well.
and I'll give it to you. I'll redistribute his wealth.
There you go. We should move on to Q&A. Unless there's anything else you wanted to hit on, Matt. I think we should move on.
No,
to Q&A.
I had my little tidbits. We talked about the budget, and I encourage everybody, by the way, once they release it, to go read it. Once again, I always say the bills that they're trying to pass, the budgets they're trying to pass, the voting of everybody in the House. Don't listen to what they say during question period. Don't listen to what they say on the news, in the press conferences. Look at their voting records and read the bills. Be an educated voter. That is the biggest advice I can give you about everything, whether they're liberal, conservative, NDP, or the like 3 green people that exist in this country.
Mm-hmm. Anesian saying, I just wanted to say thank you for your job, Derek. I thank you. I can't tell you how nice it is. I see those in the comment section all the time when videos drop. I love seeing it out here. Thank you. You know, some days, believe it or not, I need that. So I really appreciate that. I do it for you guys. I started this channel so you guys could get what the mainstream won't talk about. I think that what I bring here is a little entertaining sometimes, especially when I talk about what grinds my gears. But it's all for you guys. So thank you. We're 16 likes away, guys, from getting a.
How long have I been here now? Is it 2 months?
Just about.
8th week? Yeah.
There's Carson. 16 likes away. End the stream. End the stream. Nah, we're not ending. We're going to be doing a giveaway, I think, folks. We're at 991. We're moving up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not ending the stream. We're going to keep going. Won't you fight for your life?
Won't you fight for your rights? God, I love listening to well, what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank on Alex Jones? My God. Q&A, guys. Get your Q&A in. Let's answer your questions. We hit 1K. We're doing a giveaway.
Earlier, it was like, where do you think the money for Alberta's retirement program is going to come from? And I would think once you restructure everything and you have a new constitution, that you would probably get it from selling your oil and gas, because there's so much of it.
So here's the one thing that people don't
read the thing.
So a lot of things people don't account for, and I'll kind of put it all in one big package for you as quickly as I can. People don't take into account. They always say, "Oh, well, Alberta's landlocked if it leaves." We're already landlocked. We're landlocked by our government. So whether we leave or not, it kind of stays the same when you're talking about how dire things are. But what you have to remember is that if Alberta leaves, we already give oil and gas to the rest of Canada. Canada would still need its oil and gas. Now, Mark Carney has just said tonight, folks, if you want receipts, that there's no partnership with the United States. So they're not going to go to America to get that oil and gas, which, by the way, we'd be selling to America. but Canada would still need oil and gas. So they'd have to come and get it from us without all the regulations they slapped against us. So the money and infrastructure would be coming in from that. Not to mention all the transfer payments we're not setting out anymore, the taxation that we're not giving into anymore with the government, the taxes collected from people. There's no GST going out anymore. The list goes on. It all stops once Alberta becomes independent. Those billions of dollars that gets funneled out. Again, when you talk about schools not having enough money, hospitals not having the money or the red tape to get built, all of those things end as soon as Alberta becomes independent, because they're in charge of those billions of dollars now. They can say it's going to go to hospitals, it's going to go to education, it's going to go to making sure that you're covered for your health care, it's going to go to make sure we have enough teachers for classrooms, that we have enough teachers' aides. And people who aren't paying income tax, folks, it's just like the jobs that are moving to the United States. While people are saying, hey, my money goes further in the United States, I'm moving my business there. How many teachers and doctors do you think are going to move to Alberta where they're going to pay zero income tax and get paid a decent wage? Like, it's that easy. And that's what's funny is that people, hang on 1 second, then I'll let you get to it. Because I don't want to forget this point, that people are always saying you can't vote your way out of these problems, folks. But you literally can with Alberta Independence. You're going to get a vote that says, do you want to keep paying into this or do you want to leave? It's really that easy. For once in our lives, it's that one election where your vote has more weight than it's ever had before. You have full representation. It's not Ottawa deciding what's best for you. It's Albertans. You have the ability to make your vote actually count. I hope everybody votes in Alberta in that referendum vote, and everybody gives their voice out and tries to educate others, because this is our chance to literally vote our way out of it.
Change is scary, and the unknown is scary. We can't even pretend to have all the answers because nobody's ever seceded from the country before. You have to kind of, I don't want to say you have to kind of wing it as you go. You do it live, but it literally almost is. Like, there are people who are working, people smarter than me and Derek, I'll tell you that are working towards all of this shit that's going on in the background. And they do have documents out that people can go read that are probably also, some of you are probably smarter than us. We're just two dudes yelling into a microphone. But it's just one of those things where it's like, do you want to just take a stand and do something, or do you just want to keep it the way it is? Well, if you hate the way it is, you got to go the other way. So whatever happens over there is going to happen. Somebody's got to figure it out. Somebody's got to sort it out. And then if you guys go independent, then you can put tariffs on the rest of Canada. We're going to tariff Canada.
We're going to tariff it all. Don't worry. We're going to bury them, folks. So tell Matt Carney to get his lollipops. HD Dave, moving to Alberta with next to nothing in my pockets. Well, it's still a good move for you, Dave. I wish you all the best. Somebody says it here. I saw this too. Is Derek Smith related to Danielle Smith? No, I really wish I was. But the thing you got to understand about the last name Smith, it's kind of like the Superstore no-name brand of people. We're kind of generic. We're everywhere. But boy, I would sure love to be related. Love to be related to Danielle Smith. Maddie with a $2 super chat. China's secret vans coming to a city near you. I sure hope not.
Good.
Again,
Vote
independence. Vote independence. You never know what you're going to get. It's kind of like a box of chocolates.
Did you miss the OAO 73? Did you miss us talking about the Edmonton mayor earlier?
Mary said $2 and at full price. Yes, I missed that as well.
We didn't have much.
One sec. Snow with a $5 super chat. The East would rather import it from other countries. Always have. Well, that's the way they have done it, and it's not profitable for us. It's Oh yeah, nothing wrong with being curious, Sean. No, I was just laughing at it. I want to get this one lean on lymph. Why didn't Carney immediately offer to help the U.S. when the fire in New York took out one of the aluminum plants? Now Ford won't be making F-150s or Lightnings until they can access aluminum again. It's all politics. It's the same question as why isn't Carney opening interprovincial trade? Why isn't Carney doing any of the things he says he's going to do? It's all a show. He's just here literally to pad his pockets, destroy the country, and get out. That's already been proven. I don't even feel bad for saying that. It's the same reason he didn't offer to help America. He doesn't care.
No. And none of them do. They're all just trying to make it to pension because their pensions are real nice.
They're real nice. Think about it, folks. What other job in the world can you work for, 5 years, 6 years? And you get a glorious golden pension?
And by
and you
work.
Yeah, work.
You sit in a comfy office chair. Was it 5 months a year they actually have to sit?
I think so.
In the House, 5 months?
It's around that.
And you stand in there and you can see them. Like if you're watching Question Period, like, yeah, there's the person who's talking and the people in the back are literally tweeting on their cell phones. They got their feet up. Like it happens all the time. Like they're just sitting there. And then, one person
they can lie, cheat, steal.
Yeah, one person rattles off some zinger, and then everybody on that side of it goes, bully, here. And then somebody gets on the other side and goes, Mr. Speaker. And rattles off some word salad, and everybody on their side of the aisle goes, yeah. And it's nonsense. It's like watching fucking The Bachelor. It's reality TV. It's garbage. It means nothing.
Scripted. It's all scripted theater. And what's sad about it, folks, is when it's all said and done, they get this glorious pension. They never have to work again. They never have to worry about anything. Everything's bought and paid for. Everything's bought and paid for. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, and again, I will say this to anybody who lives across Canada. I love my country. I love my flag. I love Ontario. I love Quebec. Well, not Quebec so much. There's nice people. There are nice people in Quebec. But I've been across this entire country almost. And anytime I'm traveling around Canada, I love the people and I love being patriotic and standing behind the beliefs of my country. The problem is, folks, Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney sold out this country a long time ago and wiped their ass with our flag. And it's not what it used to be, and it's not ever going to be what it used to be, thanks to the destructive nature of their policies. So as much as I love Canada, I have to look to my province now and say, look, we have a real ability to get the hell out of this, to get away from this nonsense. The Canada that I miss, the Canada that I want back, can exist again, but only with independence. And that's the problem, is that I'm not trying to betray my country. I'm not trying to upset those who live in other parts of the country to say, neener, I get independence, you don't. I'm trying to say, look, when a province has to vote for its independence just to get away from terrible policy and corrupt behavior, you're in trouble. The rest of this country is in massive trouble when that's the case. It shouldn't have to happen.
Vote our way out of this system in Ottawa, the seat system. There's no getting around it. It's too entrenched and it's too rigged to just keep everything the same. And the only province in Canada that has a chance of just leaving because they are close to the threshold to do so is Alberta. And maybe if Alberta goes first, it might tip Saskatchewan over. But that's it. The rest of them, there's too much of a ratio of commies to normal people.
Mm. Delphine puts through an interesting super chat here. $7 super chat. Thank you so much. Trudeau says he's got unfinished business with Canada. He's entering the ring next election. I haven't heard anything about that. I hope that's not the case. Maybe as an MP, but why? Like, why would he bother?
I would pay every penny I have to get in the ring with Justin Trudeau like that old guy did for that sparring match.
I hope not. But yeah, I think he's done. I haven't seen anything about that. I appreciate the super chat. I'll keep my eyes open for that. I'll try and find that quote because I haven't heard it yet, but I'll definitely take a look. OAO, Derek and Matt, thoughts on the new mayors of Edmonton and Calgary? They both voted in. Well, we saw the 15-minute city mayor in Edmonton, and Calgary voted in a commie WEF wannabe.
Who won in Jeremy Farkas. I didn't watch Jeremy Farkas. Farkas won the election. The problem with Farkas, I actually used to back Farkas. I thought he had a lot of good ideas. He was trailing to beat Jody Gondek in the last election, and then Gondek was installed because of low voter turnout and the Muslim vote. But Farkas, the more we got to know him, and the more you started to see, hey, he stands behind Naheed Nenshi. He agrees with WEF policies. He agrees with surveillance state. Like, he thinks we should all be watched. This guy is a globalist and a WEF agent. He sits with the young leaders of the WEF.
the junior leaders or whatever they call them, he's trouble. Calgary just got Gondek 2.0.
Yeah, and then we played the video of the Edmonton guy and his 15-minute city plan earlier, so I'll tell you what I think of that guy.
This is why I moved. I understand people say Spruce Grove's a bedroom community of Edmonton. We're still a good enough distance from Edmonton that I'm far away from that crap and always will be. I was told before I moved into Spruce, hey, it's a very conservative town. I don't think you'll have to worry about nothing. And I'll tell you, the minute that things start to go awry in Spruce, you'll see old Fringe run for city council. And I'll pull a Trump and say, get them out of here. Get them all out of here. Pack them up on buses. Get them out of here. Annex the houses. Buy them out. Whatever you got to do. We're going to build a nice little wall around Spruce Grove. And if you want to buy a house here, you have to come in legally. We're going to have a big, beautiful door. And everyone will have to kiss my ring and tell me why they want to come into Spruce Grove. I'll be sitting there from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, taking applications. And if you jump over the wall... with a crown, no more kings except for in Spruce Grove. That's how it'll go, folks. I can't deal with big city politics anymore. I really can't, because you've got all these lefties in these towns, especially in Calgary. I don't know how they got in, because Calgary was a very conservative town. But you got all these lefties there. You've got an orange group of, well, in Edmonton, again, you've got a lot of medical workers, you've got the union workers, you've got a lot of government workers that typically vote left. So unfortunately, Edmonton has to deal with what Edmonton has to deal with. I think once the crime, I mean, you saw earlier in the show, folks, 12% rise in crime in Edmonton, one of the highest in the country. I think once crime really gets out of control and things really start, again, to affect Joe Public, they're going to start regretting who they put in power. I think a reckoning's coming. But the good news, again, if we vote independence, it all goes away and we get to wipe the slate clean and start over. Hopefully all the lefties pack up and move.
Yeah, like I said, before that vote, they're not going to leave. So I just hope there's not enough of them in the cities to screw your vote is the issue.
Hopefully. Let's do our giveaway. Let's get to our giveaway. We hit the 1,000, so we're going to do I've got the old wheel of fortuitousness going here. Cindy Melnick, is it Melnick? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Cindy Melnick, are you still in the chat? Is Cindy Melnick in the chat?
You're doing a giveaway for Diwali.
Oh, stop. I can't stand that accent, even when it's a joke.
You see that? The Diwali celebrations in Ontario where like the whole parking lot had like a 2-inch deep carpet of just garbage and fireworks and everything. It's crazy.
Are we... Is Miss Melnick still in the chat? Cindy Melnick.
Oye, Pasenga, we colonized the belt. Beltalora.
Cindy Melnick, where are we? I'm going to give it another second and then I'll repost. See, R1 Kyle says I'm here. That's not Cindy Melnick, though. Cindy Melnick, there she is. There we go. Congratulations, Cindy. You're the draw winner courtesy of Carson El Gringo Grande.
What are you giving away?
Thank you so much. We're go to the shop. Go to our shop on any of our videos. Click on the shop channel. Pick out one item from the shop, free of charge. If it's a clothing item, make sure to grab a screenshot if you can. If not, make sure to get a full description of the style, like the graphic or name of the item that you want, the size, the color. Send me your full shipping information within 24 hours, alongside a phone number for.
Doesn't strike, and you actually get it.
This isn't Canada Post. They don't deliver with Canada Post anymore. Okay. I need all your shipping information alongside a phone number, because they like to have a phone number in case something goes awry, so they can get a hold of you if maybe they deliver and it's not, you're not there.
I got my Heemeyer muffler. Oh, this way. Heemeyer muffler. It came
there you go.
Canada Post finally.
So send me an email, Ms. Melnick, over to Unacceptable Fringe YT, as in YouTube, Unacceptable Fringe YT @gmail.com, With all of that
Ignore that
information,
R
as
in
I
there.
said, is there an R? There is.
Fringery.
Unacceptable fringe yt@gmail.com. I hate Tiffany's keyboard. I can't type with this bloody thing. Unacceptable fringe yt@gmail.com. Send me an email there. Again, screenshot or a description of the item you want, a size, full shipping information, including phone number within 24 hours. I'll get that sent out to you. Somebody had asked, can I put a GoFundMe in the chat because of a burglary? I'm very sorry for what's happened. No, we do not allow links in the chat. I'm sorry. I also have, and I'm not saying you're lying, but if I did that for one, I'd have to do it for everybody. I know you're a member, but I have no way of verifying your claim, and I don't want to lead people around to things like that. I'm very sorry, but we don't allow links in the chat. Joe, 279 super chat. Thank you so much. Free Merkins. I don't know what that means. I think it's free merch.
Either.
Maybe free merch. Gerald asking, is the rally outside or inside of the legislative building? Carol and I always watch your YouTube channel. It's outside. I guarantee you it's outside. They're not going to let everybody, they're not going to let thousands of people inside the legislature. They would call that an insurrection. Boy, my dogs upstairs, I think, are killing each other. Full on war going on at this house. Let's wrap it up there.
Only Fringe. Is there Mankini pictures on there?
Oh, yeah, I'm not even going to answer that nonsense. Guys, thank you for joining us tonight here on the stream. Thank you for hanging out with me and Matt. For everybody, thank you for the 1,000 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you to Carson as well for gifting that merch giveaway. As well to Cindy. I think that's wonderful. Congratulations again to Cindy. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Make sure to come out tomorrow. Check out tomorrow's video. It's going to be a gooder. You don't want to miss it. Join me live Friday for Friday Night Fringe with Tiffany. Maybe Lori will join us again if all the thirsty men can kind of behave themselves. Dude, they almost chased her off. It's funny because Lori sat in with us. It was our friend who moved in.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because all these men in the chat, it's like they've never seen a woman before. And as soon as she comes in, it's like, girl. And they're all chatting. Like, we got super chat saying she's hot. Get her a coffee. Do this, do that.
Oh,
she's not going to give you her number, folks. Like, behave yourselves. Maybe she'll come back. I don't know. I'm trying to convince her to come back.
We are less than a month away from me being in Edmonton to do it live. You guys can hit on me all you want.
You can hit on Matt all you like when Matt's here in the studio. And that's the funny thing. Nobody ever says I'm hot or get Derek something or get, Matt anything on the stream. It's always all these desperate dudes who want to think that, this is again like what's the old, what are the dating apps? The Tinder, that it's Tinder. Yeah. They can just swipe whatever way it is. We're not doing that. We don't do that here. Behave yourselves, guys. Maybe Lori will join us on Friday. I don't know. I hope so. People seem to like her on Monday, so maybe we'll bring her back. Nonetheless, join us Friday. Come watch the videos. Like them. Comment them. Subscribe if you haven't already, will you? Damn it. From Matt and myself, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. I'll see you Saturday, if I don't see you Friday, for the Alberta Independence rally live at the legislature. It's going to be amazing, folks. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. From Matt and myself, have a great night. We'll catch you on the next one.